All right, man, peace. So the great Earvin Magic Johnson, NBA legend, recently decided that he was going to stop by the Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman show to discuss a myriad of topics, including Kevin Durant, his predictions on the Lakers versus the Clippers, as well as other prognostications that he's going to make for the upcoming NBA season. Of course, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Matt, no, Delaware, are we ready for the greatest point guard of all time? Can we get the Hall of Famer?
I'm happy that you understand that, Molly Karen, because there are many people on the internet who, for some reason, are trying to concoct this debate that Stephen Curry is a greater point guard than Magic Johnson. First off, Stephen Curry is not even a real point guard. He's more like a combo guard. So there's really no comparison between Stephen Curry and Magic when it comes to what each of them brings to the basketball floor. Now, if we want to talk about impact, there actually is a debate over who's the more impactful player, Stephen Curry or Magic Johnson. I will acquiesce to that is a debate. I will concede to that.
Magic Johnson out here right now. Earvin.
Magic always coming out looking like $1 million, boy. Never fails.
Does anybody light up the room better than Magic Johnson and that Cheshire Cat smile?
Take a shot.
Come on up. He's got to show everybody love first. My goodness.
Can you imagine Magic in high school if he's like this at 60 years old?
Yes. Thank you so
Look at Magic. Magic leaned in on Molly. Hey, girl, you know I'm officially pretty much negative now, right? No worries, no fears.
for being here. Magic, please tell everyone before we talk some hoops with you, thank you so much for flying all the way here. We know you are such a busy man. Why did you want to be here for HBCU Week?
Well, first of all,
It's unbelievable. And from what I heard, Freaknik was going to occur this week at the HBCU. So I said, I got to be there.
God is so good when you think about Stephen A. going to a historical black college, then being the superstar and celebrity that he is, to come back home and say, hey, I'm going to be the ambassador for historical black colleges. Only God could have his hand on Stephen A. and all these tremendous students here. And thank God for ESPN for bringing the show here and shining a light on all these intelligent students and faculty members and presidents and board members, because this is what it's all about. The education that you can get at a historical black college is second to none. And then,
Well, how come your ass ain't go to one then? I mean, let's keep it 100, Magic.
experiences that you get is second to none. So I'm just happy to be a part of this. When Stephen A. called me when I was on vacation, he said, brother, I'm doing this show. I need you. I said, I'm there. I'm there.
Thank you.
Because this is what it's all about.
You know,
No question.
listen, obviously we know him, Magic Johnson, to be arguably the greatest point guard, I mean, not arguably, the greatest point guard that ever played the game, 5-time champion. We know all of this.
So then how come your dumbass was one of the proponents for putting Stephen Curry above him, Stephen A. Smith? Why was that the case if you understand that he's the greatest point guard ever? And there's really not even a close second. Once again, if you look up Magic Johnson's highlight reel, there's like a 15 or a 16-minute Magic Johnson highlight reel on YouTube. There's not even a close second when it comes to the greatest passer of all time. Not even a close second.
What an extraordinary businessman you are and a role model you are as well. I wanted to bring you, and the biggest reason I wanted to invite you here today is because there is a dining service provider extraordinaire as well, okay? Sodexo Magic is the name of the company. There is a chairman. His name is Earvin Magic Johnson. In July, it was announced that you did a deal with Grambling State. And, you know, obviously, the world of business, the entrepreneur that you are, we got a whole bunch of aspiring businessmen and women at HBCUs as well. And I couldn't think of a better person to epitomize that spirit than you. which is why I asked you to come here today. And I want you to talk about that for a second and what kind of message you'd like to send to a lot of these kids out here that are aspiring to be business folks.
Well, first of all, it's great to be, having the contract to feed all the students at Grambling State, Jackson State, Xavier, Central State.
So that's the real reason why you're there. You have a bunch of contracts with these HBCU schools. Let's not act like you're doing it out of the kindness or strictly out of the kindness of your heart, Magic. You're developing business partnerships and relationships. That's okay.
So I'm really involved, Howard University, the hospital there. So what I try to do too is, with this contract too, I try to say, if some of these young people want to be a chef one day, want to, work in the dining experience, we're there to train them and teach them how to have an incredible career as a chef, and so that's amazing. But if they want to be a businesswoman or be a businessman, first of all, they must apply themselves at the school that they go to, right? And set goals for themselves. And know that if I can go from the basketball court to the boardroom, they can do the same thing. So it's important that role models like ourselves show them and teach them the way. And that's very important.
Yep, and Hall of Famer on the court and off the court.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to accept that as a congruency, though, Magic Johnson, because we know that what you have in spades. That being a high-profile image and charisma to spare, that has allowed you to develop a lot of relationships in the business world that a lot of these people are going to have a far more difficult time developing. So it's not really a congruency there, but I understand what you're getting at, and I agree for the most part. As long as you set goals for yourself and believe in who you are, you will succeed.
For sure. You blueprint for so many people, including a lot of athletes. So it's such an honor to have you here today. Can we talk a little basketball?
Let me just say one thing first, because when you bring up the importance of education, getting your education, putting your head down, going forward, I want you to think about who I debate with every day. This is a brilliant dude.
Yes.
You better study. You better know what the hell you talk about. You going up against this dude,
right?
Because he's smart and he applies himself. So again, you're not just working with yourself. You're not just working against yourself. You're dealing with other human beings, and to be on that level or considered on their level of above it, you've got to make sure you apply yourself to mess with the likes of this guy right here. That's what I wanted to say.
And also, the last point I want to make to all the students: you may grow up poor, but you don't have to have poor dreams.
Thank you, sir. And you don't have to have a poor self-image. It doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you plan to go.
See, that's the number one thing. So I grew up poor, but I didn't have poor dreams. So.
And you also had a strong family, so you were fortunate there. And that's why most of my videos, really the vast majority, 99.9% of my videos, always focus on the so-called black man. I speak about these other groups and other demographics just so that we can have a better understanding of how to deal with them, because they already have an understanding on how they want to deal with us. But as so-called black men, as long as we accept the real paradigm of success, that being that it always starts with us, even if it's someone else's fault, literally, we should be blaming ourselves first, because we allowed ourselves to be put in that position. When we procreate, we do it with a woman who's wife material, not only respects, but also has high regard for the masculine principle and understands her importance as a mother and as a wife before anything else, before that quote unquote independent woman facade. Because a lot of it goes into who we're choosing. As long as we understand that, we have a far better chance of being successful. We never know what's going to come across in life. We can act like we made the perfect decisions and shit might still go wrong. That's a part of life. But at least if we move according to a pattern of success, we give ourselves better opportunities.
Dreaming that I was going to be a businessman one day, and I applied myself and I worked my butt off to get there, and here I am.
And by the way, just because it's always occurred to me about the two of you, what I've read about you and your father on his garbage room and what...
Thank you, sir. Very important that we understand that even though Magic did grow up in an environment where he was not well off, he had a great figure to look towards when it comes to hard work.
Told you when you said the garbage was frozen on the stoop,
yeah.
Can't get it. He said that's got nothing to do with anything. Go get the garbage, right?
That's right.
And I don't want to... Stephen A's mother passed not that long ago, one of the most incredible women I've ever heard of. If you heard how many jobs she held down, how many kids she raised, including working with them if they needed extra attention, just amazing. So obviously, as usual, it starts with a concerned parent.
Absolutely, sir.
And I was the first to go to college in my family, out of 6 sisters and 3 brothers. So,
well, I think you're also the only person in your family to agree to be 6'8", and of course, you had a great dream to be a successful basketball player. So let's not just let's not separate those things as well, Magic. But once again, I understand where you're coming from. We always have to have a focus and a dream, a vision, and try to apply it. No doubt about that.
paved the way for my brothers and sisters to go to college, so that's what it's about.
And you continue to pave the way, you continue to pay it forward, and nobody in this crowd is here by accident. So everybody's already taking a step in the right direction. And we wish you all the best success. But now we're going to have some fun, and we're going to talk a little hoops. Kevin Durant recently said that he was different from the rest of the Warriors and that he had some issues with the team's motion-heavy offense. In an interview with Rachel Nichols, Steph Curry responded to Durant's criticism of the Warriors' offense, citing the 2 titles that the team won with Durant as proof that it works.
I also believe that that storyline between Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant is going to mushroom as the season goes along, especially if Kevin Durant comes back in the latter part of the season before one of their matchups against the Golden State Warriors. I'm not quite sure when they're going to be playing on the schedule. But one thing that I do know, especially with KD teaming up with Kyrie Irving, he's going to try to sick Kyrie Irving on Stephen Curry, because I do believe that there's an undercurrent of jealousy there because they both come from separate sides of the track, per se.
Magic, you're on the clock first. Do you have a problem with KD's comments?
Well, KD, I hope that he finds happiness. If you can't find happiness at Golden State, where are you going to find it at? First of all, give Steph Curry a lot of credit for saying, you know what, I'm a 2-time MVP. I'm willing to take a back seat because I want to win. Give Klay Thompson a lot of credit, saying, you know what, because...
Look, we know that Kevin Durant is a malcontent, but I will say this. Golden State fucked up in some areas. They forgot who went out to recruit who begged who to sign with who. They both needed each other to an equal degree, in my estimation. But they forgot who begged who to sign where. Because I believe Kevin Durant was just as ready to sign with the Boston Celtics or some other franchise as he was with the Golden State Warriors. I believe that he was enamored with the way in which they played on the basketball floor, at least from the outside looking in. I think that once he was within that bubble, I believe that he started to encounter certain energies that he never realized were what they were. And I'm talking about that super liberal Caucasian vibe that permeates through the Golden State Warriors franchise. That, well, let me tell you how to be a better person type of patronizing tone that the super liberal Caucasian will take with so-called black people. Here's what you should be thinking. This is what will make you a better person. This is what will make you happy. Of course, I'm not there. I wasn't there to ascertain that. But that's just the vibe that I get from them. And one of the reasons why I believe he was ready to leave, because I believe he looked at many of the other black players there and they were ready to just take all of that energy in. And he probably wasn't. He probably said to himself, who are these people to tell me what should make me happy or what should galvanize me? I'm just here to win championships. And they're stepping a little bit out of bounds and what they think they're entitled to tell me. And then on top of that, the cherry on top was Mr. Bob Myers after that second championship during the parade. I'm not sure if he was drunk or not. He most likely was, making the ridiculous off-color joke that he made about Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and who actually was a homegrown son and who deserved to get paid and things of that nature. It was just silly. And then, of course, we know that Kevin Durant had issues with Steve Kerr for whatever reason. Most likely, once again, because Steve Kerr exudes a lot of that patronizing, super liberal Caucasian vibe.
You know whose game suffered the most? Was Klay Thompson.
How do you get a rhythm going when you're not getting the touches?
Exactly. He used to get...
I'm not quite sure about that because I don't think that Klay Thompson's numbers went down during Kevin Durant's tenure there. I believe that Kevin Durant's numbers actually took the biggest hit. He went from a guy averaging 29, 30 points a game to someone who was averaging about 25, 26 points per game. And people might say, well, that's not that big a deal. That's only 3 or 4 points. That's the difference between being considered an MVP candidate and not.
More touches before KD got there, and he said, you know what, I'm okay with that as long as we win the championship. Draymond Green, even he had to take a back seat. So, Kevin, if you won back-to-back titles, you MVP
Draymond Green did not have to take no back seat.
of the finals as well. Where are you going to find happiness at? I just want him to find happiness, because when I look at Michael Jordan, I look at Kobe Bryant, this brother, Kevin Durant, is one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen in NBA history. Absolutely.
I'm already on record as stating that Kevin Durant is the second best scorer of the last 30 years when we factor in productivity as well as proficiency. He's right behind Jordan. Now, he's not as spectacular a scorer as Jordan or Kobe, but when it comes to proficiency in the last 30 years, he's right there with Jordan. It's basically Jordan, then KD, then LeBron when it comes to productivity and proficiency.
NBA history. So I just want him to be happy, but I don't know where he's going to find it at if he can't find it at Golden State.
Right. I want to know about your happiness. And this is what I mean by that. Even though you ain't president of basketball operations for the Lakers anymore because you walked away, as far as I'm concerned, 2 months before you should have walked away. Get Kawhi and then leave. But that's...
Stephen A., it's unbelievable. You asked me to come out here and help your receding hairline have an ass, and you try to hit me upside the head with this type of comment. I feel disrespected.
You already got LeBron and AD. You had AD before he got this. That's on you too. But here's the deal. The Lakers, to me, are the favorites. The Clippers...
The Lakers are the media favorites, like yourself. You know, the LeBron James fanboys. And I believe that Stephen A. Smith, he's not a LeBron James fanboy per se. But he's aware how it would look if he picked the Clippers over the Lakers. So he's picking the Lakers really as a way to put pressure on LeBron so that he creates a pretext to castigate LeBron if they're not playing well during the season.
Cannot be ignored, right, especially once Paul George comes back. I can't ignore Portland. I can't ignore Houston with Westbrook.
And Denver.
Thank you, sir. I believe a lot of those teams out west are going to run the Lakers right out of the gym. I'm just telling you, it would not surprise me at all if the Lakers are not as good as people think that they're going to be.
Denver, hold on, by the way, Denver, you told us that. But here's the thing. The Golden State Warriors, without Kevin Durant, but still with Steph, if Clay comes back, with D'Angelo Russell, and this is a shooter's game, it can't be the Bad Boy Pistons or the Knicks Morales. They ain't playing that anymore, right. So the game is softer. I'm just thinking Magic Johnson. Do you have a favorite? Do you have somebody that is a bona fide favorite in your mind in the Western Conference?
The Clippers.
I don't think you can say one team is a clear-cut favorite, but I can say the Lakers are the team that I feel will come out the West. But
no, you hope. The Clippers are the most well-rounded team in the West. I wouldn't call them a bona fide favorite per se, because bona fide to me would entail at least a connotation of being a prohibitive favorite. I'd say that they're the defined favorite in my view. They're a half cut above all the other teams because of what they can do, presumably what they'll be able to do on both offense and defense.
At the same time, I would not want to play Golden State in the first round.
I agree.
Okay. No, nobody.
I want to ask you something about what you said about KD's happiness. It occurred to me as you were saying that, when I think of superstar basketball players who seemed happy, I think of you. I think of LeBron James. You mentioned
LeBron James seems happy? Give me a break. That guy's a nut job.
Jordan. Michael Jordan doesn't seem happy to me. Larry Bird didn't seem happy to me. The scorers always seem bitter, angry. Like they still got Michael Jordan's killing guys in his Hall of Fame introductory speech. I mean, there's something about scorers where KD in that way, because he was criticized for not having that Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality either. But in that way, Magic, even Kareem, maybe the scorers they're not happy like the passers.
Or they just have a greater degree of perspicacity. They're just so keenly focused on what they have to do.
About Kevin Durant, he's the nicest guy. His mother is outstanding. They do a lot of great work in the community. And I think he's just searching, and he wants his own team. right? Because Golden State was never going to be Kevin Durant's team. That was.
I think that KD views the Golden State Warriors as having that quote-unquote goody two-shoes, as I've already stated, liberal cult type of energy. And he wants to go somewhere and be a pseudo-hippie with Kyrie Irving out there in Brooklyn. Once again, for people who don't understand what Brooklyn is today, it only has pockets of what it used to be known for. Now it's super duper woke. It's like an extension of the Village in Manhattan. That's what Brooklyn has become, especially downtown Brooklyn. It's a three-ring circus. It's just a bunch of people walking around with flannel shirts on, with the sleeves rolled up, flip-flops, and eyeglasses that have thick black rims on them, drinking expensive coffee, talking shit all damn day.
Curry's team. And so now in Brooklyn, once he gets healthy, with Kyrie, maybe this will be his team. And also, too, he went into a team that already was tailor-made to win a championship.
Got no credit.
So he didn't get the credit for it. So now he's looking to say, hey, I'm going to actually get the credit if I bring a championship to Brooklyn.
Fair enough. Well, we won't get to see him with his own team maybe for a whole nother year, obviously.
No, he'll be back.
But it should be something special seeing KD and Kyrie together. We are just getting started here on...
But anyway, that's basically it on that. We'll see how things turn out. And, of course, in the aftermath of Magic Johnson making these statements, Kevin Durant got very upset, which is understandable because KD does not like other people speaking for him. But that's par for the course. You're a superstar athlete. People are going to try to analyze your statements, scrutinize your mentality. It is what it is. So peace.